Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to this mandatory training session. I appreciate you carving some time out for that. Hey, I'm going to do something to appease me real quick. I'm going to take a selfie with you all in the background, but I want you to just look like this is wildly successful. You're having a great time. Okay? Are you ready? Let's see. I'm going to try to get as many people as I can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's good. Some of you didn't really play the game, but that's fine. It's a pro tip. Jeff, take note. Jeff Butler, another one of our speakers today. Pro tip, take a selfie of an engaged, enthused crowd behind you before the session, so in case it fails, you have proof that they loved it, right? Proof that they loved it. All right, so we're going to do people-centric communication today. Now, one of the things that we like to do from people-centric communication is understand how we communicate, but also understand how we don't communicate. Like we have typically a style that we want to rest in, that we might have a couple of different styles, communication styles where we ebb and we flow, but we also have on the other end of that, communication styles where we don't really like to be, like we don't like to communicate. Now, let me ask you a question right off the bat, because we don't want to label people, right? We don't want to label people, but we do every single day. And right now, how do you currently communicate or interact with the people who communicate opposite of you? How do you do? Okay, Andrew's not using words, but physical motion like this, butting heads. Anybody else? How do you typically work with those people right now? Email? Avoidance? I think a popular answer and one of those grown-up answers is I don't. In fact, I don't want to label you, but I just did. You're annoying, you're stressful, you give me anxiety, you rain on all of my parades, you stop the progress and creativity that I'm trying. I don't know why you are the way that you are, but I work around you as best I can, right? We don't have an effective label for that. One of the things that I want to do today is to be able to give you effective labels. So anybody ever done like a Myers-Briggs or a DISC assessment or StrengthsFinder 2.0? Like there's so many of those different kinds of things out there. This is our own version of what this will look like. Chances are, if I throw the different styles up on the board, you're going to be able to say, yep, that's probably me. But you already know that. The fruit of the conversation should not be who I am, because you know who you are. It's who I am not. Who am I not? And how do I work with those people? You know those people. How do I step outside of myself to be able to work with them? That's the fruit of the conversation. I like to tell this story. The first time I took DISC assessment, and this is even more fun because my wife is literally in the room back there running video for me right now, but normally she's not in the room when I tell it, so this would be a first for both of us, okay? But I took the DISC assessment, and the first time I took the DISC assessment, I remember getting the results. And I got the results in this manila folder. It was a lengthy report on me. And I called my wife, and I said, hey, good news, honey, good news. I have the cheat sheet to us. I just need you to treat me accordingly to what this says, and we are going to get along great. Communication is going to be great. And that's what we typically do with those styles. We wear it around like a name badge, like, yep, this is me, treat me like this. But we never go to the next phase of that to say, let me understand who you are. Let me try to communicate with you. Because even if you are not like that, chances are you work with people like that, or you manage people like that. How do I better communicate with those folks? So I won't dwell on this, but we're always trying to build a people-centric culture. We work with lots of companies all over the country, different type. We work in healthcare, hospitals, but also specialty clinics, major manufacturing companies, hotels and convention centers, several magazine publications, accounting firms, city administrations. How do we get the police department to work better with the board of aldermen? Like stuff like that. Like we're always doing stuff like that. It's these 5 sets of systems. It's not whether people are happy or not. It's the stuff that they live in on a daily basis. The reality is if your people system's strong, your communication system's strong, your management, your process, your strategy, if those things are good, the ripple effect is you are now operating into this idea of a people-centric culture. And that's where people want to be. If the people system is strong, but your management is poor, it's broken. If the people system is strong, the management system is strong, but we have no clear direction of strategy or what winning looks like, it's broken. You can kind of see how those things kind of work together. So that's, let me give you some background. The first group didn't get this background. Our company was founded about 15 years ago. Don Harkey is the CEO of People-Centric. We're a 5-person company. He was a chemical engineer. You have any engineers in your life? Because if he was here, he'd say he's a recovering engineer. Been 15 years clean. And if you have engineers in your life, then he can also help get support for them too, right? That's how he would say it. He's an anomaly, though, because he's kind of an extroverted engineer, which is, he's great with the strategy, great with the process, but he's also very engaging if you're able to hear him behind the microphone. And he would say the science of how people work has been known for a long time. The engineering of how do I put that and infuse that into an organization to really create proactively a framework for culture within your company has been lacking. And that's what this is. It's the framework for how we build culture. So today, we're going to be in this idea of communication styles. So we're going to be, as you might imagine, in the communication set of systems there, probably touching on the people system and maybe even a little bit of the management system as well. Let's get started, shall we? So communication, we would define that by ensuring that people get the information that they need. In fact, we would say these things. Communication influences everything that we do on a day-to-day basis. Would you agree with that? When I say communication, we're not just talking about the words. There's a whole other part of that too, right? What is it? The body, the nonverbals, right? The action. This that Andrew gave me. He was communicating, not using words, but there was something, yes. Aggressive. Breakdowns of communication cause confusion, lost time, and misalignment between teams, ultimately leading to this other word that we didn't put up there, but it's called chaos. Chaos, lack of communication. If you were in the first session, I know many of you were, the heroes and villains, we talked about narrative paradigms. Lack of communication builds narrative paradigms and confirmation bias. And then we get people running around pretty sure of the truths that they think that they know about, and you can imagine what that looks like, ultimately leading to confusion and chaos and frustration and us versus them. When we understand each other, we know what we're doing, why we're doing it, who's going to do it, how we're going to do it, like we're just better. And so that's what this is going to focus on today. We have so many methods of communication than ever before, like more methods, more access to each other than ever before. Would you agree? What are some of the different methods that we have for communication now? Email, text, social media, horrible place for effective communication, but we try it every day, right? And I'm going to solve all the world's problems on Facebook today. Watch this. We just light a match and burn the whole thing down, don't we? What else? Teams, chatting. You know what's always interesting about this activity, and I don't know if COVID did this or not, but do you realize all of the different methods that you just pointed out do not require actually talking to another person? Email, text, social media, Teams. I mean, we get 5 or 6 down the list, and then somebody's like, do we still call people? Is that a thing, right? Can I pick up the phone and talk to people? Can I go to somebody else's office, say, hey, how's it going? I needed to talk to you for just a second. Like, do we still do that? And it's a sign of the times. How many of you prefer face-to-face conversation or at least over the phone? How many of you are like, please do not ever call me? Like, text me first. Yeah. Somebody calls you, you respond with the text, can't talk now, what's up? Even though you have nothing going on, but you just want to vet it and see if it's worth your time right now. Yeah. We have those. More methods of communication and access to each other than ever before.